Now, don't give me grief about it. But for the last 2 weeks on The Naked Truth with Alicia New, this is what you've heard.
Best not wallow in our grief.
But the 5 general stages of grief that we're going to be talking about are denial, which can encompass disbelief and numbness. Anger and blaming others is a second area. The third would be bargaining, like if I'm cured of this cancer, I'll never smoke again. 4 can be depressed mood, sadness, and crying. And then 5th is acceptance and coming to terms. I think we can see from our chat with Jenny that these stages are just a big jumbled mess, but there can be beautiful moments of light that are mixed in there.
I think I need a hug.
There's no formula for getting through our grief easily. It's just a messy process of triggers and experiences and moments of revelation.
Good grief.
I have live and in the studio with me today, Britt McLean. Welcome, Britt.
Thank you, Delisha. Really glad to be here.
Yeah, glad to have you. Britt and I have known each other for who knows how long. We went to college, that's how we met, right?
You might even qualify as being back in the day.
Back in the day, that's right. We were back in the day, back in school in the 80s, going to VSC is where I started, and then I got a free upgrade to VSU. And we went to church together, Britt and I did. And Britt, as you know, one of the reasons I wanted to have him on, and first of all, just because I trust him, and I've known him for a long time, know his heart. And but of course, they run McLean Funeral Services.
Oh, good grief.
What would you say is the most helpful thing that you've seen in your profession?
One thing is keep moving. Mm-hmm. Try not to let yourself stop in a place. Mm-hmm. When you keep moving, that is better.
And do you mean physically moving, emotionally moving?
Everything.
Mm-hmm.
I mean everything. Keep physically moving. Keep physically taking steps forward, and the individual has to decide how to do that. Mm-hmm. Whether it's going back to things that you were doing beforehand in little steps, little stages. Mm-hmm. But it's also emotionally. One of the things that's worst about grief is that those who we lose, we have so much invested in emotionally and relationally. Mm-hmm. And if we think that, okay, well, this person is gone, no one will ever replace them, which was very true, but therefore I don't want the hole in my heart or whatever to be replaced because I'm going to keep that hole as a memorial to them. Mm-hmm. That's not healthy at all.
Yeah.
We have to find new relationships to reinvest ourselves in. Mm-hmm. And that is one of the ways that we keep moving emotionally, and that is very healthy.
Very healthy, right.
Oh, good grief.
One of the things, too, one of the premise of my show is that for us to be healthy and to come to a place in life where we thrive, we don't just survive life, but we thrive in life, is we have to be emotionally, spiritually, and physically healthy. And I was talking to a friend earlier today, because I get into these conversations about what my show's about, and then it goes into somebody telling their story, which I love hearing people's stories. But a friend of mine was telling me about his mother and brother got killed in a car accident at the same time. So you can imagine the shock and grief they went through. Well, his father was in the car with them at the time, and he survived. Wow. But the wife and the son did not. And the father stopped. One of the stages is anger and blaming. We were talking about some of the different stages of grief. Well, he stopped right there. He stopped on anger and blaming, stopped going to church, never could reconcile himself with God about why God would allow this to happen to him, and never moved forward, never went back to church from that point on.
If you live your life in a complicated manner, if you allow relationships to get complicated, one of the things that makes grief most difficult for folks is guilt based on the way that they had lived prior to the death or the loss or whatever it is. And so if you want to be well equipped, so to speak, for grief, live your life well now.
Mm-hmm. You are acceptable.
Great! Do you want to see me naked?
I don't want to talk to you no more, you empty-headed animal food trough whopper! Go away!